I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test, part 163, Europe and the Common Market, part 2. By doing leg stretching, and if you participate in the leg stretching, that is the risk. So we're starting with the first exercise. We're bringing one leg in front, the heel into the ground, and then pulling the toes towards us. And that stretches the leg. And from time to time, we're going to contract the quad muscles and then release the contraction again. So we're starting with contraction of the quad muscles. Europe and the Common Market. So West Germany, France, Belgium, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands formed the European Economic Community, EEC, in 1957. Release contraction. So in 1957, there some countries formed the European Economic Community. Contract again. The EEC is the European Economic Community. So it's for economic, and it's a community, and it's European because these are European countries. So the European Economic Community, and relax again the contraction. And these countries are West Germany, I don't have the map, maybe the next time. West Germany, East Germany, then the middle was the split between the Soviet Union and the countries and the Western countries. So West Germany and Eastern Germany, then France, Belgium, that's pretty much in the middle between Germany and France, and contract again. Italy, we had it a couple of times, and the Luxembourg, that is next to Belgium, so between Germany and France, and the Netherlands, this is also besides Belgium and Netherlands, Luxembourg. Netherlands is next to the Netherlands. And these countries form the EEC, the European Economic Community. And relax for last time the muscle. The EEC became a part of the European Union when it was formed in 1993. So we're contracting again. For last time. So the European Union was formed in 1993. And the EEC, the European Economic Community, relax, I'm just switching the leg. Yeah, leg in front, the heel onto the ground, and we're putting the toes towards us, and we're contracting the quad muscles. The European Union was formed in 1993, if I read it right. And the European Economic Forum European Economic Community became part of the European Union in 1993. The UK was a full member of the European Union, but it did not use the euro currency. We released the contraction of quad muscles. The UK formally left the European Union on the 31st January 2020. So we're contracting again. So the United, it goes on, no, it does not. But this is the next part, okay. It's just a short thing. The United Kingdom, release the contraction, left the European Union in 2020. The European Union has a bunch of countries in them. And contract again. The European Union are many European countries, not all, but many. And for example, this Western Germany, but Germany got reunited in 1990, so it's full Germany now in the European Union. And France, Belgium, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, they are part of the European Economic Community. And they are all part of the European Union. And relax the contraction again. The European Union has way more countries than just these 6 words listed here. There are, I don't know exactly, but 20, 25 or something. And there are way more European countries. And contract for last time. So, and the United Kingdom was part of this European Union, but the UK left in 2020. On the 31st January 2020, formally. There was a bridging period for 2 years or something like that. And we are going to the next exercise, the anchor chain stability test. Having the leg at the outside, the toes are pointing forward, and we're pressing a bit with the leg into the ground. The European Union is similar to the first thing here, the European Economic Community. So there are countries which are trying to have the same rules, some basic same rules, and so that in between these countries, the people can live freer together and make goods and make good transporting and economically, but we can work economically better together because by having all countries inside of the European Union have some basic same laws, and releasing the stretch a bit. And all countries who want to be part of European Union have to fulfill some of these standard laws. There are some basic laws which all countries have to fulfill who want to be part in this European Union. And we're pressing again in. And one important thing of the European Union is that there are no borders between the countries. So there is no border between France and Germany, or between Germany and Austria, or Switzerland, or Italy and Austria, or Denmark and Germany. And the idea is that goods, trains, trucks, all can just drive from left to right and just can transport the other leg to the outside and be pressing it in. The idea is that all trucks and also people all can just drive to another country. If a firm buys in France and to Germany, the truck can just drive over the border. There is no border. There's a technical border, but there is no control. In the whole European Union, there is basically no border. And all trucks, all the trains, everything which delivers goods from one firm to another can just drive to the next firm. And also people, they can just drive and make a holiday in Spain. They don't have to make a single border control when they're driving from France to Spain. Or if they're coming from Greek over Slovenia. I think Slovenia is also part of the European Union. Then over Austria, Italy and France, they can completely drive through. If people are driving from Greek to Spain to make a holiday, they can technically drive from Greek to Spain completely, and people from Spain can drive, I'm not sure if Portugal is, but yes, I think. Or people from Portugal. The next exercise for hydraulic car jig, having a flex foot and we're bringing it up. People from Portugal can drive to Greek and make holiday in Greek if people from Portugal want to make holiday in Greek. So people can just drive from one country to another, and that brings the people closer together. In Europe, every country has a different language, basically. There are some with Belgium and smaller countries which speak the same as neighboring countries, and in Netherlands there's English spoken, there's Dutch spoken, but in Belgium there's France spoken, and there are parts of Luxembourg where there's German spoken and so on. But basically every country in the European Union speaks a different language. And they are one continent, but that is the historic background where everyone speaks a different language. But because there are no borders, people can just make holidays, and they're doing that regularly, many people, in other countries. And through that they are better connected, and they know the other countries. And we bring the leg outside and we bring it again up. And many people from Germany know Italy or Spain very well, or France, or people from Germany can drive to Poland, or people from Poland can drive to Spain. And now we know these other countries, and when they know each other better, they are more familiar with the other countries, they all live more harmonious, more peaceful together. So that is the basic idea of the European Union, that there are no borders and some basic laws, so that the people can also just go to other countries, because the same basic human rights exist there. The United Kingdom was part of that union for many years as a very important member, but when there was the Brexit and the people in the United Kingdom voted with a little majority of just 1% more or something to leave the European Union, to look a bit more, maybe we get a better explanation because this is about the United Kingdom. And we're going to the next exercise, to make laws which are not regulated by these basic European Union laws. We're having the hands by the knee which is behind us, and we're leaning in front with the shoulder to the knee which is in front of us. So just in case we're not going to explain anything of it. The United Kingdom was part of the European Union, but the United Kingdom then left after the Brexit vote, and that the people said, the majority, a slightly majority, that they want not to be longer part of the European Union. And that came into effect, or formally into effect, on the 31st January 2020. So with that we are through with Europe and the common market, which is actually we did not really learn about the common market. These were just 2-3 days, but we take it as it is, and we're going back to this year. So the first thing is quite simple. Now to the other side over, we're doing the same exercise. We are with the hands at the knee behind us, and we're going in front with the shoulder. So Alan Turing, he built the Turing machine. This is the most simplest one. And then, it was in the 1930s, was it invented. And then we have Sir Bernard Lovell, and at Jodrell Bank he built and that is in Cheshire, the radio telescope the biggest in the world. Sir Bernard Lovell at Jodrell Bank built the biggest radio telescope. So radar is also not so complicated. Radar, Sir Robert and then Watson Watt. And now we are going again into 1990 and we're leaning just in front. So Watson Watt is also not so complex, there's Watt in it. So, and television, John Logie Baird. I found out why I was struggling a bit with saying Dame Mary Peters, and I said Mary Dame Peters, because there is a poet and her name is Mary Darby Robinson. So Mary Darby Robinson, and that is Mary Peters, or Dame Mary Peters. So this is Dame Mary Peters, and then there is a poet, Mary Darby Robinson. So John Logie Baird, he invented in the 1920s the television, and 10 years after the radio of the BBC, which was in 1922, so in 1932, there was the first successful test from Glasgow to London. Now to the pigeon post, do it only if you know already how to do it, and if you can do it without injuring yourself. So John Logie Baird, he made the television. John Logie Baird. And Robert Watson Watt the radar. And during the Turing machine, I think the times are not so complicated actually, because these inventions had a great impact on the world, and it's not so hard to know when they were actually. And when we have insulin co-discovered by John McLeod. Can we anyhow remember this? John McLeod. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. John McLeod. Insulin. So Alan Turing the Turing machine. Sir Robert Watson Watt the radar. Sir Robert Watson Watt the radar. And at Jodrell Bank, Sir Bernard Lovell, the radio station the biggest in the world and still in use today. And when we have insulin, that was we have John Bardi Lovell, John Logie Baird. John Logie Baird. We're going to the next exercise. Just 1998 began this one. John Logie Baird. Can we anyhow remember that? John Logie Baird, television. And Sir Bernard Lovell. Sir Bernard Lovell at Jodrell Bank, that is in Cheshire, he built the radio telescope. And insulin was John McLeod. And now we're going into the pigeon post. Don't even know how to do it without injuring yourself. How can we remember John McLeod? Insulin. So we have John McLeod insulin and John Logie Baird the television. John McLeod and John Logie Baird television. And the DNA have we with in 1953. Okay, that's a pretty easy number. And these, we say that Francis Crick won the Nobel Prize for his discovery. He was one of the people. So we are just this discovery contributed Francis Crick. One of those awarded the Nobel Prize for his discovery was British. So it was discovered in 1953 for work at British universities in London and Cambridge. But it was done by many different people, and where it happened in Britain, where one of these people working on that was British. And that person is the one which we're trying to remember, which is Francis Crick. Now we're going to the last exercise. Francis Crick, structure of DNA, codiscovered. Something like that. That's so bad. Co-discovered was by insulin, but it was John McLeod. John McLeod in this co-discovered, and here we are seeing he was one of the people awarded for it. We're going into the butterfly stage. The sounds are together, and we're sitting straight, and we're leaning up from. John McLeod, that was insulin. John McLeod insulin, and Francis Crick DNA. It's actually not so hard. We're having a strange Francis Crick DNA. So we're having John Logie Baird television. Sir Robert Watson Watch Radar, Alan Turing Turing, John McLeod John McLeod Insulin, and Francis Crick DNA, and Sir Bernard Lovell at Jodrell Bank the Radio Telescope. I thank you very much, and until next time.